everyone, my topic is the single extent of I. Do you remember there is a scene in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban that Harry and Melanie go back to the past to save Sirius Black by using a time turner. Melanie reminds Harry seriously that he cannot be seen by himself in the past. Have you wondered that if two Harrys see each other and what will happen? If you go back in time and bump into yourself, what is your reaction? And do you believe you are the same person or each of you has different identity at that moment? Now I try to use the short story On You Zombies to illustrate this paradoxical situation in time travel. On You Zombies is a science fiction short story by Robert A. Houghton. The story involves a number of paradoxes caused by time travel. The story involves an intricate series of time travel journeys. It begins with a young man speaking to the narrator, the bartender, in 1970. The young man is called the unmarried mother because he writes stories for conventional magazines, many of readers presumably from the point of view of an unmarried mother. The unmarried mother explains why he understands the female viewpoint so well. In fact, he was born a girl in 1945 whose name is Jane. Jane was delivered to the orphanage as a baby, and no one knew where she came from. When she was 17, she met a guy and fell in love. He ended up getting her pregnant, and she never saw him again. During a complicated delivery, doctors find that Jane has both sets of sex organs, and to save her life, they are forced to surgically convert her to him. Finally, a mysterious stranger kidnaps her baby from the delivery room. Reeling from this disaster, he becomes a drunkard and drifter. In 1970s, he stumbles into a lonely bar and spills out his pathetic story to an elderly bartender. The sympathetic bartender offers the drifter the chance to avenge the stranger who left her pregnant and abandoned. On the condition that he join the time traveler corporations, both of them enter a time machine and the bartender drops off the drifter in 1963. The drifter is attracted to a young woman who subsequently becomes pregnant. The bartender then goes forward 9 months, kidnaps the baby girl from the hospital and drops off the baby in an orphanage back in 1945. Then the bartender drops off the confused drifter in 1985 to enlist in the time traveler corporations. The drifter eventually gets his life together, becomes a respected and elderly member of the time traveler corporations, and then disguises himself as a bartender and has his most difficult mission, a death with destiny, meeting a certain drifter at bar in 1970. In time travel, there's a theory often being mentioned is grandfather paradox. Imagine you build a time machine. It is possible for you to travel back in time, meet your grandfather before he produces any children, and kill him. Then you would not have been born, and a time machine would not have been built. It's a paradox. However, this story undermines this paradox because there is a fundamental question. Who is James' mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, son, or daughter? The girl, the drifter, and the bartender, of course, are all the same person. If we draw James' family tree, we find that all the branches are curled inward back on themselves. As in a circle, we come to the astonished conclusion that she is her own mother and father. She is an entire family tree unto herself. This person exists in different time and even meet her or himself in the same time. It's another paradox caused by time travel called self-visitation. In the ordinary time dimension, you cannot see and stand at the same time, but by using time travel, it's possible to do different actions in the same time. It's like you exist in parallel universe. However, if both of you meet each other, so which persona can represent his or her identity? This main character even changes sex and life just becomes a circle that circulates forever. It seems time travel can let people stop the timeline to some degree, but we will lose the chance to create our own identity. We are like the zombies to run our life. And in the end of the story, the bartender says, "The snake that eats its own tail forever and ever. I know where I came from, but where did all you zombies come from?" Which means that there is no one else but copies of him in the world. Therefore, now I standing here, is there are my copies in this universal dimension? If I suddenly meet myself, how can I perceive people which is real me? We always get used to consider so-called individuality, but time travel seems can break this argument and to create the multiple identity of the same persons. Thank you. This is my conversation.
Thank you.